I love him. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
Experience the greatest love story of all time.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
A film by Emerald Fennell.
Heathcliff.
Kathy.
Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi.
Kiss me and let us both be damned.
Wuthering Heights. Original songs by Charlie XCX. Only in theaters tomorrow. Experience it in IMAX. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Hey, this is Mark A. Altman.
And this is DAREN DOCHTERMAN.
And this is Ashley Miller.
And we are the Inglorious
Treksperts.
Well, and today we got something really special. A couple of weeks ago, we brought you Josh and Alex from the target audience. People really seemed to enjoy that episode. Last week, we had Miss Bunnytails herself, April, join us to talk about her very popular reaction channel, Bunnytail Reacts. But this week, we got 2 reactors, very, very special and very close to home. They're junior Treksperts, I would say.
Very junior.
Their names are Griffin and Locke, and they are they have an interesting last name.
I think it's Miller.
Miller. So does that mean they're related to you, Ashley?
They are. They're part of my clone army.
Will they admit they're related to you? We'll find out.
They might. Let's find out.
They're like 3 Mile Island reactors.
So now they've seen Star Trek for the first time. They've seen no Star Trek up until now.
Correct.
So we're going to talk to Griffin and Locke and find out what they thought of their first experience with Star Trek. This is a true reaction video. So get ready because we're about to meet Ashley's children, Griffin and Locke. Hello, Griffin and Locke. Welcome to the podcast. Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
So tell us what episode of Star Trek you just watched.
We watched episode 1, season 1.
What is that called?
Episode 101.
There we go. That's slightly different.
Okay, so you watched The
That
Cage.
episode is called though.
You watched The Cage, which was the original Star Trek pilot. Now,
Yeah.
I understand this was prompted because you guys were watching Doctor Who and loving it.
Yes.
What was it about Doctor Who that spoke to you guys, that got you excited?
Well, I like the concept of the TARDIS, where like it could go to different times and places.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can go in anywhere in time and space in a phone booth. You know what a phone booth is?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was a police booth.
A police box. Yes, you're right. You got me on that. Ugh, man.
Also, I think that it isn't what it really is. It's just a disguise.
You're absolutely right. You're showing me up here with your Doctor Who knowledge. But we're not Who-sperts. We're not Horton Hears a Who.
Treksperts.
We're Treksperts. That's right. So let's talk about Trekspertese.
Treksperts?
Let's give you a Trekucation. So tell me, and our vast audience, what was your reaction to watching Star Trek for the first time? What did you like about it?
I liked, well, give me a moment. I liked kind of like how the
No, that's okay.
The part about the episode is like how the aliens like use the illusions to lure them to the planet to make them make babies.
Make them make babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Adam and Eve, right? That's right.
That's the part I didn't like. That I did not like that part. I just don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But what part do you like?
The Green Orion Slave Girl. My favorite. Okay,
Some of us
let's get
call
off
those
that.
aliens the buttheads.
Yeah.
Now let's ask you about this.
They have butts on the back of their head.
Okay. No, one of my favorite things is that first shot where it comes through, you're in space, and then the camera comes through the dome of the bridge, and then they are on the command deck, the bridge, and they're on a mission. What was like the thing where you said, "Oh, Dad's not crazy. This is a good show. We want to watch this."
Around like a bit after they first showed the ship.
Yeah?
The inside.
Okay.
Can I say what I liked about the...
Please do.
Like I liked that...
What? When you first thought it was very good.
But he can also say what he likes about it.
Okay.
You don't have to translate for him. It's not like with the Colossians. He can speak for himself.
Okay, what did you like about it, buddy?
So, like, I liked that they were trying to use, like, you know how they couldn't break in through the door because there was no door. It was just an illusion because they were shooting nothing.
Yeah.
I know you like animals a lot, and you have a lot of you. So was it? What do you like the idea that this was sort of an intergalactic zoo, that Captain Pike was only one of their many animals that they captured to to observe? Was that something that you guys dug?
I did not catch you on that last word.
Oh, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy the fact the alien zoo, the idea that Pike was one of many creatures?
Very much.
Yeah. And who were your favorite characters, guys? Locke, who was your favorite character? And then we'll ask Griffin.
You go first.
I wouldn't say she's like she's one of my favorites, but just she's probably been like my fourth favorite character. Like you know how Captain Pike, like when the girls. So.
Which girl, bud?
Like the girl, when Captain Pike's telling her, like, why are you always in the way?
You want me to Colt?
Yeah, on the bridge, always in the way of the bridge.
Right.
Like, I guess just.
My favorite character was the captain.
Same.
So I have two more questions for you guys. One is, and then I'm sure Darren has questions too, but here's my question for you. After watching this episode, do you want to watch more Star Trek?
Yes.
Well, as the lawyers would say then, I'm going to go out on that. No further questions. Darren?
I'm wondering if you would have any suggestions of how to make the show better.
Not really, because if it's still used, so if like green screens existed back then I would say please change the mats. But
you don't like the planet set.
We just don't like the fact that it looks like that's just a random painting. Like it just doesn't look right.
Well, that changes later on in Star Trek.
I know. It's just I'm used to watching movies or shows and movies and stuff that don't have a painting of a background. That don't have a painting.
Now you have another brother, Caden. What's your plan for getting him into Star Trek?
I think he's already into Star Trek.
He's more of a Star Wars guy, isn't he, Ashley?
Yeah, he's a little more of a Star Wars guy.
I have no idea how I would lure him into Star Trek. Dad does that, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
Lure him in. Lure him in.
I do like Star Wars too.
Nothing wrong with that. You can like both.
Use a special Star Trek lore.
Well, I just want to caution you guys not to be too embracing of Captain Pike and the crew, because most of them will never be seen again.
Well, there's sort of
spoiler alert.
Yeah. I told them about the menagerie.
Okay.
They've been warned.
Well, guys, we're very anxious to hear what happens on your continuing Star Trek journey. So will you come back and update us after you've seen more episodes and let us know what you think?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's
Cool.
great. Well, you're welcome to the club. We're excited to have you guys as junior Treksperts and lovers of this crazy show that we all love. And it's never too late to become a Star Trek fan, 60 years old and counting. So thanks for joining us tonight on the Treksperts, and we'll see you guys again soon.
You're welcome.
Oh, also,
Bye.
you know, like out in the background of Dad's background, you see the Star Trek ship?
Oh, yeah, I sure do. You know what that ship is called, right?
He
doesn't
know. The tip of
know.
my tongue.
It was a great World War II ship in World War II. It has a lot of history to it.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
That's not going to help anything.
I don't know.
Enterprise.
Okay.
I don't think we either.
It's not
of
the
us
Yorktown.
It's at the tip of my tongue.
It's not exiting. It's
entering.
It's entering. And at the
Enterprise.
carnival, you win a what? When
Enterprise.
There you go. Yes. You
So
did
I
it.
built that whole thing.
It's fantastic.
Enter stuffed bear. Enter stuffed bear.
Well, it's funny you mentioned how you built that, because we're going to be talking today about how they built the shuttlecraft, and they will again. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you again real soon.
Bye, guys. Good night. Go to bed.
Well, Ashley, you've done it. You've finally gotten those kids to watch Star Trek. Congratulations. You've
Thank
taken
you.
your first step into wait a second, no steps in the larger worlds. Hold on. We need a different metaphor. That's very good. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a
full metaphor.
It's been a great wait.
I will say, all kidding aside, there is something wonderful about being to watch. You know, it's like at the end of Bread and Circuses, where they talk about ancient Rome and Jesus in the 20th century, and he said to be able to watch it all over again, right? You know,
These aren't the
it's
sons
the same
up in the
way.
sky. These are the sons of Ashley.
That's very funny. To experience watching Star Trek again through the eyes of, you know, our offspring,
our youth,
you know, it's pretty awesome. You know, to watch it. It's just a great. And I have to tell you, it's really scary because, you know, obviously my son has only watched the original, you know, once or certain episodes more than once or twice. He is almost as good at the Pluto test as I am in like knowing
identifying the
episodes like off of. I mean, like it's staggeringly insane.
Wow.
I just have to ask: is that based on his superior ability or your declining ability?
Fair question.
He did a great job with the Enterprise, by the way. The Lego is fantastic. It looks great.
It's not Lego.
Well, the Playmobil, whatever the hell it is, looks great. Yeah, I don't care. It looks great. That's all I know. So today we're bringing you an episode, Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Shuttlecraft to Enterprise.
Happy holidays.
And the reason we're doing this, it's so exciting. The Shuttlecraft was always one of my favorite Star Trek ships. I was going to say as a kid, but it still is. And right now, the wonderful Ticonderoga set tour in upstate New York is starting a Kickstarter to raise money to give the Shuttlecraft a home on the set tour.
Well,
and
before you go any further, it is a separate group of people that are putting up this this Kickstarter to help the set tour. The set tour isn't doing it themselves.
Okay, I stand corrected. So friends of friends of the set tour. It sounds like an organization, friends of.
It's like Friends of Carlotta.
It's like that, like the gangsters. These are friends of ours. So, these friends of the set tour, and it is legitimate, by the way. It's not just some people who are running off. These are people who are friends of the set tour who are launched an incredible Kickstarter, which will help fund the hangar bay, the home.
Yeah,
as you will, not the hangar bay, but a hangar bay.
It's a shuttle bay. It is a bay for the shuttle.
Hi, I'm William Shatner, and will you help us land the shuttle here in Ticonderoga? You'll find out how.
The full-size Galileo shuttlecraft, the real screen-used prop from Star Trek the original series, is coming in for a landing. After a dedicated restoration by Adam and Leslie Schneider and a stop at NASA's Houston Space Center, the Galileo needs a permanent home, and we need your help. We're building a shuttle bay hangar next to the Star Trek original series set tour in Ticonderoga, New York. The foundation is poured, and contractors are standing at the ready to build a new original series set tour experience you'll never forget. Please pledge today to help fund the Galileo's permanent base of operations. Coming soon to Kickstarter.
It is a bay for the shuttle. So
to exist.
And you can check it out on Kickstarter. You can support it to the extent that you're able. I can tell you, I saw the shuttlecraft back on the Intrepid a couple years ago. It's more than a couple years, probably 10 years ago, and it was amazing. Now, Darren, am I right in understanding they're going to be building the interior as well?
That there is going to be an interior.
Yeah.
Whether
Can
or not
you explain why that's so interesting? Why that's such an interesting fact?
It's interesting because on the show, the interior that we see on the show was never in the mock-up.
Right. In fact, because of the scale, you really couldn't have built it.
The scale is slightly different.
Yeah.
Between the the TARDIS, it's smaller on the inside than on the outside, but it's it's
so Griffin and Locke are really going to love it.
That's right.
Yeah, actually they would.
But there will be an interior. It's being worked on as we speak, and the shuttle is now in a secret location, separate from the storage place where it was.
Storage compartments,
and it will be brought out in September of this year to go along with the 60th. And the process of building the enclosure, it's basically a little house for the
on
shuttle.
the prairie.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, look, I'm very excited. Darren and I are going to be in Ticonderoga in
end of
June. I'm taking Isaac on a college tour, and we're going to hop and bop over to Ticonderoga to see Bill and to see the amazing set tour, because my son also is a huge Star Trek fan and is basically, he said he'll never talk to me again if I don't take him on the set tour. So it seemed like an opportune time to come. I understand that Darren and I are going to be doing some tours. I'm looking forward to that. They could turn into 3-hour tours, or who knows? We may never leave. It could be Gilligan's Island. And who knows, if your kids continue to embrace Star Trek the way they are, maybe actually you'll be there. But and then
maybe
of course,
they'll
I'm sure
want
Darren,
a piece of our action.
So Darren, I'm sure you'll be back in September as well for the unveiling.
That's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's really something special. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and Darren, maybe you could briefly talk about the restoration, but what I really want to talk about today is the history of the shuttlecraft, because of course the history on Star Trek of the shuttlecraft is so fascinating. The way it happened, the way it came into reality, and of course the way it was used in the show. People are always like, in The Enemy Within, when Sulu was stranded on the Sub-Zero planet, why didn't they just send the shuttlecraft down? Well, because, from a production point of view, there was no shuttlecraft. They hadn't even come up with that yet. So that when the transporters didn't work. Now, obviously, you can retcon it and say, it was too cold to even send the shuttlecraft down. but I'm sure we can figure out a reason why they couldn't send the shuttlecraft. But there was a
shuttlecrafts aren't really insulated against 0 degrees Kelvin temperature.
Well, maybe if they had landed on that planet, they would have been separated into good and evil shuttlecrafts.
Right. That's right.
No, okay, maybe not. So
the evil shuttlecraft has a flame job.
So, Darren, before we talk about the history of shuttlecraft, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what's going into the restoration, the people that are working on it.
Well, the entire staff who built the set tour are coming in from time to time and working on bringing back the Galileo. It was on display in Texas, and then it was wrapped up and sent out after it was on the Intrepid. It was sent to Ticonderoga, and it's been in cold storage since then.
Right.
But they are in the process of putting it back together. They do have a guide, however.
They do have a guide, yes, they do. Those beautiful Matt Jeffries illustrations and blueprints.
The restoration initially of the found object was done by Adam and Leslie Schneider, and they spearheaded the fight to bring it back to life, and did an amazing job bringing it back to pristine condition. And that is still the case. It's just a question of reassembling it and cleaning up some things that may have been changed in transit. But it still looks amazing, and we've planned out the enclosure to have enough space for the shuttle and people who want to go in and take pictures and see it. And as you look at the Kickstarter page, you'll see some of the plans that exist for the final resting place. It's not a resting place. It's a home for the shuttle.
Resting place.
Yeah. It's not a cemetery.
No,
it's a celebration.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration of life.
Why are we treating yours like a funeral?
That's right.
I want to ask you, before we get to the history of the shuttlecraft, I do know that when and the restoration, that happened 10, 15 years ago was absolutely spectacular, because the state in which the shuttlecraft was found.
It was horrible.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that if you can.
Well, it spent its life after Star Trek in a series of outdoor fields and empty lots, and basically rotting over the nearly 30 years it was out there. And there is I hate to say it, but there's almost nothing that survived intact. There are several its main structure was intact, and that still exists, but it was very badly treated over the years. Mm-hmm. And it was finally rescued by Adam and his wife, and they brought in a team of people to completely redo it, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I got to tell you, I was really in awe of when I saw it, and on the Intrepid you really couldn't get that close to it either. So it was in the middle of the flight.
Because it's a ship of all Vulcans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. As though hundreds of voices cried out and were suddenly silenced.
Yeah, that's right.
But that brings up, we want to talk about the history of the shuttlecraft on the show. And that story is amazing. I'm sure most of you probably know, but some of you don't, which, of course, was that they wanted to build the shuttle for the shuttlecraft, but they couldn't afford it. And the way they were able to do it was to license the model kit rights in exchange for AMT building the miniature and the full-size ship. And that, of course, was the famous Stephen Poe, a.k.a. Stephen Whitfield. Darren, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Steve Whitfield was working with AMT, aluminum model. I always forget what the T stood for. But he is the one that sort of bartered this agreement between AMT and the production company for, in return for getting the rights to do the USS Enterprise model. They would take on the job of building the full-size shuttlecraft, and they went through various designs. I mean, Matt Jeffries did an early design that was very curvy and had sort of sweeping wings on it, and it was just too expensive and too difficult to build. So this final design was designed by I forget his name, but he was a famous car designer.
Was it Gene Warren or I don't know?
No. Gene Winfield was the guy who built
Gene Winfield, right? Yes,
right. But the guy who designed it was a car designer who was, I believe, in the Lowy group of artists. And I forgive me, I can't remember the name right now. But Doug Drexler would know, and so would Bill George. But so this has some of those lines from some of the more beautiful '60s cars in it. So it's a compromise, yes, but it still was an amazing design and very iconic. It had a great silhouette to it that was very recognizable. And the fact that they were able to basically get it for free from AMT was astonishing. And they spent a good deal of money making it because it wasn't cheap. But it's really this sort of great story of how things are provided through little business choices, and it's a fun little aspect of the history of Star Trek.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
I think what's so cool, too, about it is the fact that the AMT model kit line is so iconic and ended up being so successful. It was such a successful line of model kits. And this was back, I think, where, before social media, before, home video. So, your way to experience the show was to build model kits. We all did it. I was terrible, by the way. But, I mean, we all built the model kits. Mm-hmm. Ashley, I mean, I'm sure you must have built so many of these AMT model kits.
Man. Yeah, I built all the ships. I built, the equipment. I built, you name it. I built it. We had it. We did it. And look, I mean, we literally just got the boys off the line, and Locke was talking about building that Playmobil set. I mean, he loved that. There was something about there's something very participatory about building those model sets, about putting your hands on it. It just feels more real to you.
Round 2 has reissued pretty much all of the model kits from the day.
Really?
They own the molds that made the originals, and so they've put out new versions of all of those model kits. So look around because they're out there.
I mean, I'm no Jeff Bond, but as a kid, I mean, I built the Enterprise, the Klingon ship, the Bird of Prey, which I remember was pretty easy to build. And then it got more complicated. The bridge was very difficult, particularly all the stickers on that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, K7, that was one of my favorites. Was the K7?
Mine too, because it had the tiny little Enterprise.
Yes, exactly. It came with how do we remember this? The little Enterprise. And, that was pretty cool. And I loved when Rob's mentioned this, that the Enterprise had the stickers for all 12 ships and all heavy cruisers.
Right.
The
later version
the
of
Defiant, the Exeter.
The later version of the kit had all of the all of the other ship names and
what
a
brilliant
different
marketing
font.
to get you to buy like as many kits as possible and keep building it.
Yeah.
And I know people used to, blow up their Constellation to fuck with it, which is funny because Isaac said to me the other day, he says, I hope X06 puts out Starfleet Academy action figures. And I said, really? Why? He said, so I can blow them up.
Oh, yeah, not at $250 a pop.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's really expensive.
It was funny though. I appreciated the levity of his comment. And then of course the exploration set was so important to all of us because
that's my favorite set because my Uncle John built that set for me, and he put batteries and a light in the phaser, and it was the coolest thing ever. And, a lot of the older kids were disappointed that it was too small for them. It was the perfect size for me. So this was my my cosplay entry into the world of Star Trek.
I built that set, but it was very, it wasn't great. My Uncle John, I don't have an Uncle John. He didn't build it for me. I built it.
Our friend Brian Mix built full-size versions of those devices.
Crazy.
They're just as deformed as the little ones were, but they're adult size. It's really
I
great.
didn't actually build those particular model kits. My brother built them, and he built multiple copies.
Nice.
For his entire Star Trek club, which I've talked about on the show. But he built all of it, and they were beautiful. And he did exactly like what your uncle did. Like he set them up so that they lit up. Yeah. He modified communicators, and he would cannibalize other toys like walkie-talkies, and he would build his own communications things. And he does this now for a living. And so he had his own working communicator. It was the most.
I can only imagine what he would have done with the Star Trekulator.
And he would have gotten a hell of a Trekucation is what he would have done.
That's correct.
You mentioned Brian Mix, and I want to stop for a second because, of course, Brian is involved with this Kickstarter. But more importantly, or at least to us, he is our video producer. He's done an extraordinary job with the podcast. He's very involved with the set tour. He's been an incredible asset to us at Star Trek Las Vegas. Just a great guy, a big fan, and we're so indebted to him for everything that he's done for the podcast and the Trek community at large. So I didn't want to just not
gloss
acknowledge
over
him.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't want to gloss over that. Yeah, exactly. So, but this is what I do want to talk. So we talked about the model kits, hugely successful. AMT got what they want, and Gene got what he wanted, which was a shuttlecraft and a miniature shuttlecraft, which
they also built the miniature.
Which is great. What can you tell us about the hangar deck, Darren? Because I love that, and I have to say that's one of the things I really like about I'm not as people know, I prefer the original effects. There's a lot I don't like about the new effects. Obviously, that was a challenging project. A lot of people we love worked on it. I appreciate it was the effort that went into it. But the one thing there are two things I do. Well, obviously we talked about the matte paintings that they did were great. I love what they did in Tomorrow's Yesterday, but I really love what they did with the hangar deck.
Yeah,
I thought that stuff was great.
Not much is known about the history of the hangar deck and how it actually came to be. We know that it was designed by Matt Jeffries, as everything else, and that it kind of fits into the secondary hull of the ship, but not really. In another group that I have meetings with every week, we're talking about this right now because the engine pylons should be right there in the hangar deck, and they're not. And in order to make the hangar deck fit, you have to chop those engine pylons off and basically make the engines flop around like they did on the AMT kits. But it's one of those things that the space that it fills is important, and it needs to look big as it does in the show. And it's really cool. It's really well thought out in terms of what it looks like, and I think a lot of people have sort of extrapolated as to how it functions in terms of where do they store the shuttles, where do they store the aqua shuttle, and things like that. when we're coming up with a way to present the shuttle at Ticonderoga, we're thinking along those lines too, and we may be expanding a little bit on the lore somewhat, just to make it work in the set tour.
It's funny because I was not a fan of the Next Generation shuttle bay. The shuttles looked like an accordion had closed, and that was what we let the shuttles, because they built it life size, and they didn't have AMT paying for it, and I never liked that ship. I didn't like the interior, I didn't like the exterior, and I spent many times on the set of that hangar bay, and again, it just felt like since they built it practically, they couldn't only build it so big, and it just doesn't. There's something about that miniature, that the Enterprise, because when you did see it, it was basically a wall, right? The turbo lift. I mean, the doors opened and you saw a wall behind it, but the miniature had those observation areas, and it had texture and it had character. It was really interesting, and part of that, what I love, even though you don't even see it, is in Conscience of the King when Kirk and Barbara Anderson,
Lenore Caridian.
And Lenore Caridian are up, and he says, "Oh, this is meant to simulate Earth environment," and then there's the hangar deck down there. You never see it, but it just feels this idea that the Enterprise is big and there's a huge ship and there's all this stuff going on, and you felt like you saw it, even though you never saw it.
Right. All this power throbbing and surging.
I'm sorry, what? Throbbing and surging and surging
and throbbing.
Caesar of the Stars.
That's right.
So that brings us to the show itself. So the first time we see the shuttlecraft, I believe, was in the Galileo 7, which is Trekspert Darren Docterman explained is the 7 people on the Galileo, and not the number on the side of the Galileo,
which is a coincidence.
I learned last week apparently. So it's the Magnificent 7. But what an introduction to that ship, because we're exploring the Murasaki effect. We can't, do it. We have to go out in the shuttlecraft. The Enterprise is going to leave to go on a mission, and we see the shuttlecraft. It leaves the hangar deck. We send out the Columbus to try and find it. Little did they know that Columbus apparently would become persona non grata.
Was it the Columbus or the Columbia?
The Columbia. Oh, that's right. It's the Columbia. It's not the Columbus. I stand corrected. So I love the introduction of the Galileo. And, of course, when it's stranded on the planet, it becomes, sort of the target of these creatures. Right. And it's funny because Leonard Nimoy has always said he doesn't like that episode. He feels that by not having Kirk to, him being in command and not having to bounce off Kirk, he felt it was a weaker episode. I don't find that to be the case.
Spock is learning an important lesson in it, and Nimoy doesn't like that. He doesn't like Spock.
I think that episode's great.
Yeah,
it's
great, and it's a great learning moment for Spock to realize that he doesn't have all the answers, and he needs to change his mode of thinking sometimes.
When he jettisons the fuel at the end in a desperate act, spoiler alert, it's remarkable. It's so great, and the whole conversation afterwards about where they're trying to, say you had an emotional outburst,
right?
You acted emotionally, and he explains why it was a logical choice. It's so great, and that episode could have easily been a Lost in Space episode.
It almost is at a couple points, yeah. It's handled as well as it could, with the sort of strange caveman-like giants,
strange animal things.
Yeah. But again, it is a great focus on the shuttle itself, and again, we spend a lot of time inside that interior, which is completely separate from the exterior. But it's a lot of fun, and it looks like it would be fun to tool around in. It's like an RV.
Well, what's interesting too is I think the restraint they show. In that sense, it's like Jaws, because anyone who's seen the NBC photos, the publicity photos, the creatures were front and center, and you could see their faces and the sort of furs that they wear, and they were awful. Like if you had seen those creatures up close, it would have destroyed it. But instead, they're very smart the way they play that whole episode.
Right.
You see glimpses in the smoke. You see them, from inside the shuttlecraft. You're reacting to them banging on it.
Dare I say they were outer limits creatures, and that's not a good thing.
No.
When you're watching Outer Limits, you expect a certain level of creature, and it wasn't all that great. Same company did them, by the way.
Because Bob Justman worked on the Outer Limits, and he turned into a lot of his Outer Limits cronies, not in a bad way, for Star Trek, like Hua Chang.
Yeah, that's correct. But yeah, someone recognized that, oh my gosh, we got to hide these guys as much as we can because they don't really work. And as such, it makes it way more interesting and frightening and mysterious when you cut them out.
Yeah, they turned a weakness into a strength. It's a little bit like the Star Trek version of the shark is not working.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ashley.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I do also think that, it's great because Don Marshall is in it, who, of course, was in The Lieutenant with Nichelle. But people know from Land of the Giants.
Right.
And he's great in it.
Yeah.
Everyone's great in it. The Yeoman is great in it.
I'm great. You're great.
But I think the whole Dee Kelly, it's really the first time you really see Dee and Leonard sparring, and not in a lovey-dovey way. I mean, he's pretty harsh.
He's pissed
which
off.
Is great.
Yeah. Other than that deleted scene where they make out, but yeah.
Oh man, do your kids know you talk like this?
No, they don't.
I hope you don't like the peanut gallery doesn't say too much when they're watching Star Trek. Just let it wash over them. Don't.
I do. I keep my mouth shut. I just tell them to shut up and watch. You got questions? It's like, why? How do they talk? Like it's called ADR.
Questions must be submitted in writing.
That's right. And I just tell them, look, right thinking will be rewarded. Wrong thinking will be punished. And they're like, oh, okay.
From a fable you once heard last week.
That's right. Daddy, what's on his hands?
Were they scared when he was burning, when they punished him and he was like,
they thought that was fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, man. It's very effective.
That's what his agent wanted to do to him when he didn't want to come back and do the second episode. I'm a movie star. I don't want to do another Star Trek. I don't want to do television. I'm too good for this shit.
Well, to be fair, he didn't necessarily say that. His wife did.
It's attributed to his wife, but he was there. Him and his wife were there at the screening, and he could have easily said, I want to do it.
I'm in.
But clearly, the wife was fronting this because he didn't want to be the bad guy.
But thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness, because we wouldn't have gotten Bill. Will Shat.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so that would be unfortunate. Okay, so the Galileo 7, what a great introduction to shuttlecraft. Looks gorgeous.
But the best presentation of it is in Scott Mantz's favorite episode, Metamorphosis.
Yeah, because it's all about the shuttlecraft going off course, being stranded, and of course it sits on that purple planet for the entire episode. And I don't want to see the companion. I don't want to see the love story. I just want to look, because I'm in love with the shuttlecraft. I just want to look at the shuttlecraft the whole episode. They should have just sat
it through those
in front of
rocks
the
that were foreground pieces and see it at the end of the stage. It looks so good. Given the setup of a stage-bound planet set, which is not real. It is a hyper real. This is the sort of mindset we're in. But seeing it there is so great, and seeing Spock interact with it, changing the muffler, whatever he does in the back,
changing the muffler
is really cool, and we see a little more about how it works.
The original title of that episode was Amortization. Because...
No, it was not.
Oh, that would have been like the Voyager title of that episode.
Brought to you by Valvoline. It's like, we're changing the muffler. Do you know the muffler, man? It's like, okay, what's with the lithium crystals? Doesn't matter. The muffler's not working. Okay. That's one of the things I always loved about that episode, because, it's no secret that we're not huge Metamorphosis fans the way that other people are.
No one is.
No one is a Metamorphosis fan the way
Scott Mans. I mean, they just think that's like the greatest episode of Star Trek ever. I'm kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Kuhn fan, as we all are.
Right.
And but I don't think it's about our characters, and I don't find Nancy Hetford that interesting.
Right.
And he's a piece of wood, Cochran,
right.
Glenn Corbett. But I love that shuttlecraft.
Yeah, I love that shuttlecraft, and I like the episode because it has my one-word Shatner impersonation key in it. Companion. That's it.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Exactly. It's so funny. It's true. It's so Bill. It's so great.
God, it's good.
It also has that great scene where they're being killed, and McCoy says, "Stop it!
You're
killing them!
Killing them!" Dun, 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 dun.
But the shuttlecraft looks good in that purple sky.
It looks great.
Oh man, you're never gonna convince me that's a top 10 episode, but
Never.
Man, that is a top 10 shot. That Ralph Sinetsky, man, he shot the hell out of it, and Jerry Finnerman, man, he filmed the hell out of it. I mean, and Sinetsky gives him credit. He gave credit when we were talking to him, where he says Finnerman was the one who said, "Let's shoot," suggested how to shoot it, and he's like, "Oh, okay, they're great," and it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good shot. Another good shuttlecraft episode, the Immunity Syndrome.
Yeah, Rob
Burnett's favorite episode.
That's right. But I don't think we actually see the exterior in it. We see the model.
Oh yeah, we never actually see the full size shuttlecraft. That's right. We see the miniature and we see the interior. But that has some of the best Spock McCoy stuff. We're trying to rescue you. Thank you, Captain McCoy.
That's right.
And all that you should have wished me luck. And there's that scene where Spock goes into the shuttle bay where he says, "Well, use one of your Earth aphorisms, wish me luck." And he doesn't until Spock leaves earshot, and then he goes, "Good luck, Spock." But that has some great character stuff, and even though it's about saving the universe from a giant space amoeba, which is basically the Doomsday Machine with the space amoeba.
Yeah. What would win in a fight, the Doomsday Machine or the space amoeba?
The Doomsday Machine. Let's not.
I wonder if Will Decker could take out the space amoeba. I'm going to ram this thing right down. It's
as much as you want the Enterprise. I want that. Well, that's Will Decker.
I don't know, but what do you guys think of the Immunity Syndrome?
I like it.
I like it. I like the idea of it better than the execution.
Yeah, there's something
kind of weird.
It's like, well, it's weird, but it's like there's something cinematic about it, or at least like its ambitions are cinematic.
Yeah.
And I like you said, it's like I love the idea of it, but I feel like
I just don't,
the fact that the Doomsday Machine.
I can't take seriously a creature that its weapon is to make everyone feel kind of dizzy. You know?
Well, it's funny because I remember when Star Trek: The Motion Picture came out, everyone was saying, "Oh, Star Trek: The Motion Picture is just the Changeling meets the Immunity Syndrome." Now they just say it's the Changeling. Now they don't say it's the Immunity Syndrome.
Yeah, because they forgot the
because everyone's forgotten about the Immunity.
Yeah, the Immunity Syndrome. Yeah, exactly. But I like the Immunity Syndrome. I don't dislike it, and plus, if you watch it with the original effects, those effects are stunning. That Frank Vanderveer.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's stunning. That stuff is really beautiful. And I think it got nominated for won an Emmy. Nominated for an Emmy for visual effects or something.
Don't remember. I always thought that the only episode to get that was the Tholian Web.
But stunning. I don't know. Really, really great. Really great. And the shuttlecraft is great. And Spock's going to die.
You're great. I am great.
No, I love it. I love it. I love that shuttlecraft, man. I'm so glad we were doing an episode about it.
The other top 3 episodes to feature the exterior of the shuttlecraft was, in fact, The Way to Eden.
Yeah, brother.
I knew you were going to say that because it looks so great on Eden.
Yes,
it does.
Yes,
it's the only thing that looks good.
And you see the function of the doors. The top of the doors slide in, and then they separate, and then the ramp comes down. It's really cool. someone from Ticonderoga posted a look at those door mechanisms that still exist on the mock-up, and it's way cool. It's way cool. Maybe we'll be able to have a demonstration of that at some point. But
see,
I've always liked.
I would look forward the whole episode to seeing the shuttlecraft at the end, because it's the only good thing about the episode.
Right.
And ultimately, and then we get to the end, but I would have to look at that burned foot of
I hate that.
Meyer. And it was like, by then I was sick of his ears, and then I had to look at his freaking foot, and I was like, just show me the shuttlecraft. I don't want to see Skippy Holmeyer's foot. But
his name,
I love the shuttlecraft in that episode.
Hate that.
It's so good.
Now I have PTSD. The ears, the foot, all of it, just so gross. The hippies were just gross, and not just because they were hippies.
When I used to play with silly putty as a kid, I would make those ears out of the silly putty.
Every time I watch that Rudolph's Shiny New Year, as every New Year's, look at those ears, and I think of Skippy Holmeyer and that stupid Way to Eden, that terrible episode. And I know we got fans on the show who defend that. They say, oh, it's all about technology, and how technology is corrupting, and how they want to go back to a world without technology. And
it would work just as well without the musical numbers.
I don't even mind the musical numbers. I mind that the costumes. That it's so much flower power. It's so 1968 that that it's so mired in those.
They're wearing egg buttons, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
hard-boiled egg buttons.
And I like the language it creates. Herbert, we reach. Like, I like all that. I just, and I don't like the fact that, the whole relationship that Chekhov's considered like this total square, because he's supposed to be the young hipper guy.
And he's also part of the monkeys. I mean, don't those guys know
part
that?
Of the monkeys. Hey, we're the monkeys.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah, I mean, I like those songs. Yay, brother.
Oh my God, no.
Just got to clean.
I would much rather hear the children sing, and and the children shall lead. Any day of the week, I'd rather hear them chant that than hear that goddamn song. I just hate it.
Yeah, we're doing. For those of you who are coming to Star Trek Las Vegas, we got big plans for the children shall lead. Just you wait.
We're gonna resurrect Melvin Belli and like.
Well, I don't know about that, but.
Let's just say we're getting the feathers together for Mark's gown.
Because I'm going to be the Gorgon. If anyone looks like the Gorgon, it's you, not me. We'll argue who's going to be the Gorgon.
More to see.
We're cosplaying as the Gorgon.
I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
The Inglorious Gorgon.
I've never worn a costume in Vegas since Rob's wedding, and I never will.
We have photos.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I never show those photos.
I've tried to have them burned. I've offered people money to get rid of those photos, but nobody will take.
No way.
No way. Yeah. Okay. So, Eden, what you had another one you wanted to put into contention?
Did I?
Yeah, you said there were 2.
3.
I
didn't counting.
What are we missing? I didn't make notes on this episode at all, obviously.
I think that might be it.
Well, I'm thinking.
Maybe you said of the 3, that was the other one.
Oh, okay. So we talked about Immunity Syndrome, Galileo 7. We talked about the way Metamorphosis. I feel like there's other episodes with the shuttlecraft.
Well, I mean, but we don't see the exterior of it any. But
it doesn't matter if there's a shuttlecraft in it. We want.
But of course, Menagerie. Has Kirk.
Oh,
and,
of course,
Mendez.
the Menagerie, Part 1.
Yeah,
where they're chasing the Enterprise.
That's right,
and they're running out of fuel. That's such a great scene too, though.
It is, especially in retrospect after you know what's going on.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you. By the way, just watching speaking of the shuttlecraft and the Menagerie and all that other shit, like. Watching the cage, realizing just appreciating anew how brilliant Gene Roddenberry was.
Yep.
Like the ending, like when they let Weena go off with illusory Captain Pike, but they kind of turn that into the ending of the Menagerie.
Yeah. It's great.
Anyone who questions Gene Roddenberry's genius, I'm like, just look at the Menagerie and how he took the cage and weaved it into something brilliant. not just from a production point, it's brilliant. As a TV producer, I find it brilliant. But as someone who admires Star Trek and good writing, I thought that was just utterly brilliant.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, and it was just kind of a beautiful little ending, By the way, I think the shuttle, does it also appear in the Savage Curtain?
No, they get beamed down. They beam down with Lincoln.
I keep feeling like there's still another one out there that is just like
Lincoln and Sirac are in that. No shuttlecraft.
Although I'd like to see Lincoln and Sirac like in the shuttlecraft, like they're on a road trip.
Well, it's funny you say that because next week's episode is Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Okay.
Cool. No, it isn't.
It's not. It's not at all. Great Moments with Mr. Spock.
Hey, you know what? Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln said that.
Help me, Kirk.
He would if he were alive today.
Help me, Kirk. I want to do one of those with Lincoln and help me, Kirk. Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would wear that shirt. That's fucking great.
Well, I think we can all agree the shuttlecraft is pretty cool.
Love the shuttlecraft.
And obviously it's been a big part of Star Trek ever since. It features in the other shows. I mean, Deep Space Nine did the Runabout, which was one of the more successful versions, I think, of a shuttlecraft. Obviously, there's the travel pod in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Right. So there are these sort of smaller transport things like the shuttlecraft. But I don't know.
But it's also the second most popular Christmas ornament, as you alluded to at the beginning. It's the one. It's the Christmas ornament where when you press the button, you hear Leonard Nimoy say, "Shuttlecraft to Enterprise, Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Mr. Spock here. Happy holidays and live long and prosper." And it's cool. And he did a commercial for Hallmark, where he goes into a Hallmark store and asks for the shuttle, and it's really fun.
Excuse me, I'm interested in the new collector's ornament from Hallmark.
Ah, the shuttlecraft Galileo from the Starship Enterprise.
Precisely.
It lights up when you plug it in. And listen.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
For a store in your sector now carrying the Star Trek ornament, call 1-800-HALLMARK.
Live long and prosper, right?
No, I'll take 5.
Well, it has that great button where he does, he holds up his hand and she says, "Oh, live long and prosper." She goes, "No, I'll take 5."
That's right.
It's clever. It's clever.
Awesome.
Not as clever.
Funny.
Not as clever as Raisin Bran.
In a dry way.
Clever.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Let me take a little sidebar here and talk about this amazing Kellogg's commercial that Shatner is doing.
Oh my God! Is that the one that got like several orders of magnitude more views than Starfleet Academy?
Yes.
Well, it's the Will Shat brand commercial because whether it was staged or not, he was caught.
It was staged, but that's looking back at it, it's brilliant because people thought, "What's he doing eating cereal in the car?" And it went viral. It swept all of the social media. And people were wondering, what the heck's going on? It's dangerous for him to be going around having cereal in the car. And it turns out to be all part of the plan. It's really amazing and brilliant. Whoever came up with this, because he's going to be in a Super Bowl.
He was in a Super Bowl commercial on a Super Bowl Sunday as Will Shat. And, what other actor would make fun of themselves in that way, because it's talking about how the whole idea of Raisin Bran fiber keeps you regular and you go to the bed. And he's having fun with that whole idea of Will Shat, and he's even sitting on a captain's chair that looks like a toilet. Who else would do that but Bill?
He says Will Shat every day.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's how much fun he has with his persona, and he's just game for anything, is what we've always said. The great thing about Bill is, like, if it's smart and it's fun and it pays, he's in.
Yeah,
and
or at least two of those things.
And he's just so wonderful in that commercial. It's really a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. But look, I want to encourage you. The reason we wanted to talk about the shuttlecraft is because it's so fantastic that James is going to have the shuttlecraft where it belongs at the Star Trek tour in Ticonderoga. And there's a chance you can support it by supporting this Kickstarter that friends of the set tour are doing. The campaign is starting. You can go to Kickstarter and find out more, and I'm sure there are a lot of great rewards. But the greatest reward is being able to go up to Ticonderoga and see the shuttlecraft in its enclosure, which will be fantastic, starting next fall. Which doesn't mean you shouldn't go in June and see Darren and I as we give the set tour. Right. And we're going to be joined by Bill Shatner and a bunch of 60th anniversary people, talent from the great guest stars from the show who'll be up there. It's going to be a ton of fun. So that'd be great. And before we go, we got letters. Remember we read these letters.
Letters.
I didn't read it at the top of the show, but we got some terrific letters. So I'm going to read. This is one from our old pal. This is Overnight Joe. Overnight Joe has been a longtime listener and a fan on social channels. And he wrote, "Hi, Treksperts."
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Mark. I
This is
didn't
your
kill
old
her.
friend, Overnight Joe. I began writing you an email a while ago, but stopped because I got busy due to some life difficulties. I will explain more about that later. In television, we call that a tease. Then I heard Karen Walker's letter on Cage Fight, and I decided to finish it and send it in. Before I get to how much your podcast means to me, I thought I would tell you how much Star Trek means to me, because Star Trek has been with me my whole life. I was 5 years old when Star Trek began airing on NBC. My sisters liked watching it, so I saw bits and pieces of it during its first 2 seasons. For season 3, I never saw it until it moved from Friday nights at 10 p.m. to Tuesdays at 7:30 for the summer. My parents let me watch whole episodes, which means my first episode of Star Trek I ever saw was the last episode, Turnabout Intruder.
Oh my God.
This is mutiny. You obey my orders. I was only 8 and didn't understand the storyline, but neither do we, and we're a lot older than that. But I love the character and special effects. So every Tuesday night, I parked in front of TV watching Star Trek. After the show left the network, one of the local stations in town got it in syndication as soon as it was available. They ran it every night at 5 p.m., and I would watch it before dinner with my brother and sisters. We also got the unedited versions. I figured this out by listening to you guys talk about it on the podcast. Our version of the Tribbles episode had the scene in which Kirk questions the crew following the fight with the Klingons. I never saw the edited episodes until they were broadcast on MeTV. All the kids in my neighborhood would watch it too. We would play Star Trek together, creating our own adventures with homemade communicators, phasers, and tricorders. I can't tell you how excited we were when the animated series began. We watched it at my house because we were the only family in the neighborhood with a color TV. When I was 12, I got a job in a comic book store, so I had access to all the comics, tie-in books, photo novels, and fanzines. This inspired me to write my own Trek fan fiction, which I still do today. While working at the comic book store, I read all the articles about Star Trek coming back as, oh my God, I didn't realize it was writing on the next page.
Home.
But here, a movie from a television show, then back to a movie. We were all about the same age, so I can relate to many of the stories you tell, especially about how excited I was to see the movie on the big screen more than once, too. I can also relate to when it was broadcast on ABC with the added scenes. He talks about what a fan he is of Star Trek The Next Generation, and he met many of the actors at conventions, including our good friend Shatner. I was at the station for 11 years where he worked, the Fox station, and have all kinds of funny stories I can share about my Trek involvement while working there. He met his wife Dawn at the station, like most couples. After we got engaged, we were planning on getting married a year later with a honeymoon in Hawaii. We moved our wedding up because Dawn's grandfather got sick, and we were not sure if he would be around for our wedding. Our honeymoon changed from the Aloha State to Sin City, where we went to the Star Trek experience. I was in my glory seeing all the props in the museum, taking the tour, which included the transporter simulation, the shuttlecraft ride. Oh, there's another shuttlecraft.
Yeah, there you go.
The Star Trek
but it was a
experience.
next-gen shuttlecraft.
I know, it was Next Generation. Meeting other Trek fans at Quark's Bar and getting pictures with Klingons, Ferengi, and Vulcans. That was 25 years ago, and I'm sorry to tell you that my wife, Dawn, has cancer. Obviously, Joe, this is the first we're hearing of it. We're very sorry to hear that sad news. It's a very... we never like to hear something like that, which is why your podcast means so much to me. It helps me through the rough times. I discovered it during COVID. Even though I was not an essential worker, I still went to work every overnight, keeping people's televisions on. By then, I had moved from Fox to CBS, the same station that carried Star Trek when I was a kid. The old-timers I worked with told me about running Star Trek on film. In my 21 years there, mostly working overnights, I kept network and local news on in the wee hours of the morning. On Friday night, Saturday morning, we didn't carry news, but broadcast infomercials. Your podcast helped me survive the air fryers, knives, CDs, and pillows that were sold in the middle of the night. You might say the M5 got me. I was hubbed out of my job as a master control operator when the station automated. I am now semi-retired and work part-time weekend overnights at the NBC station. I still listen to your podcast overnight while making sure Dateline travel shows and home repair programs air. I blog every now and then, and in 2024, I wrote a blog about your podcast. I hope you get a chance to read it. I posted the link on your Facebook page. It told why your podcast is my favorite and how it helped me get through good times and bad. Believe me, since October when Dawn got diagnosed with cancer, the last few months have been bad. I am happy to say the chemo treatment seemed to be working. The tumor has shrunk a lot. Hopefully in 2026, my wife will be cancer-free. I'm hoping that in 2026 to meet you gentlemen at a convention. Dawn and I were planning on coming to the Ohio one a few years ago. That is until my property taxes went up by a considerable amount of money. Thank you for your podcast with the panels. I'm sure I'm not the only one who cannot afford to go to conventions, but thanks to the podcast, we feel like we can be part of it. Not just the Trek ones, but your panels with Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999, Buck Rogers, along with interviews with Ken Wall and John Schuck. My 2026 goals are for my wife to be cancer-free, so I ask you and all your listeners to keep Dawn in your prayers and pray for anyone else like Karen Walker who is or was suffering from something. Let me conclude this letter by saying why Star Trek and the Inglorious podcast mean so much to me. Because simply, it makes me happy. Dealing with all the ups and downs of life, I know that for a few hours a week, I forget my problems by watching an episode of Star Trek. Like you, I have my favorite episodes, but I'm not going to pass up watching Shore Leave, The Pegasus, Little Green Men, Rise, and Carbon Creek, thanks to Pluto TV. Then listening to your podcast, which always makes me smile and laugh. God bless you all. Keep on trekking, and I will keep on listening. Let's all hope that someday we get a world like Gene imagined. Live long and prosper. Overnight, Joe Stockslater.
Nice.
Well, that was another lovely email. We asked you to send emails for the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. Mostly we asked you to tell us about what Star Trek means in your life, but everybody went above and beyond the assignment by talking about what the podcast means, which I have to say is absolutely lovely hearing all your stories. And it really makes me feel good about my decision not to retire from the podcast. No, seriously, because it clearly it's nice to know that, you know, we're not just sitting here bullshitting and, you know, people are, you know, enjoying what we have to say and maybe getting a little bit of a Trekcation.
Well, you never know how you affect people. Like when you set out to do something that's positive and good and all about the love, like we like to say about this podcast, about this show, with occasional lapses into expressions of frustration. It's just, you just don't know, man. But it's a consistent message that we hear again and again, that we see on social media, that we hear from the people who come up to us at conventions, that just hearing those voices out there, like that, having never met us, but feeling like they know us and feeling like they're a part of something. If we can do that without ever knowing all the people that we touch, I think in that incredibly positive way, just knowing that we've done it, man, it makes it worth it. It makes sitting down and doing this every week 100% worth it.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
So what's this about your twins' tribble obsession?
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so I got a gift for them. Well, like when I was at GalaxyCon, I think. No. At STLV last year, I got them a tribble because I just needed to get them something. One tribble, but like one that goes right. So a wiggly one. So I got one for them. And they were kind of obsessed with it, especially when I said, like, let's watch Star Trek. So they're like, well, can we watch the Tribbles episode? But then I laid out where it was in the season. They're like, oh, we can't watch it yet. But the questions about the tribbles like led me down this like insane, and I was making shit up. They're like, well, daddy, how does it eat? I was like, well, there's a it's got a mouth, right? But it's like you have to kind of reach up in there and kind of this, and they're like, well, wait a minute. Well, how does it move around? Well, you know how like a snake moves? Like you have to have the muscles and they're all over the body and they contract and that's how they do. Well, Daddy, it doesn't have any eyes. Where are the eyes? I said, well, it doesn't need eyes. See, all the hair is it's very soft and very fine, but actually they're sensory organs. They're like, wow, that's incredibly cool. I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm completely riffing on all of this stuff. But they
just don't mention that their one opening is like a butthole with teeth.
Oh, totally. It's essentially like it's a vaginus, but with like teeth. It's like the world's most awful cloaca. That's a pretty good title. But they had to have it with them when they watched The Cage. Like they had to bring it in and hold on to it, like while they were watching the episode. So there you go, man. But they love that Tribble, and they cannot wait to see that episode.
I can't wait to see what they think of Trouble with Tribbles and more troubles, more Tribbles. More troubles.
And trials and tribulations.
So that'll be, and trials and tribulations, of course, which will be celebrating its anniversary this year. And who knows, we might even do something at Star Trek Las Vegas. Speaking of that, for all of you who want to try and meet us, you can check us out at Richmond. We'll be doing a bunch of panels, obviously, at GalaxyCon, the first GalaxyCon of the year. Later on, we will be at, Darren and I will be at Ticonderoga this June for the set tour. And then we'll all be in Star Trek Las Vegas in August, where we bring you exciting 4 days of programming, really great 60th anniversary programming. So we're deeply grateful for all your cards and letters. Well, not cards really, but letters, emails, things like that. And we look forward to you joining us next week on an all-new Treksperts. But if you want to stay in touch with us, you can email us at trekspertsplus@gmail.com or go to our Linktree/TrekspertsPlus, where all our social channels, Inglorious Trek, Inglorious Treksperts, are easily accessible, including our Discord channel, which you don't want to miss. And, of course, you can subscribe to the Treksperts at trekspertsplus.com, where you can sign up for bonus episodes and all kinds of extra good Treksperts goodness. And we're starting to drop more and more bonus episodes. Let's talk about the bonus situation. And you can enjoy those episodes that you can't get as a regular listener. So check that out. And that's really about it. I want to thank Ashley for inviting Griffin and Locke to the party, our junior Treksperts. Good to hear what they had to say, and I'm looking forward to hearing more as they get to, Charlie X will be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, there's things I need to explain to you boys. It's, well, ask me later.
Wait until they wish you to the cornfield. Oh, no, It's a Good Life.
That's basically the same thing, but yeah.
Well, again, we want to encourage you to support this wonderful Kickstarter to give the Shuttlecraft a good home. And, of course, you can do that on Kickstarter. And, Darren, you're going to be leaving on the Star Trek cruise shortly. We're anxious to hear all about that when you get back. You'll be telling us about your adventures at sea.
Right.
Darren's going to be reenacting Master and Commander. He's going to go to the far end of the world.
You see, the cruise is somewhere at sea, and we have a landing party that no, I can't have anywhere to go there.
Well, thank you to everybody, and of course, big thank you to the great Brian Mix, our video producer Peter Holmstrom, and Mark Rivera, and the whole team that makes the Treksperts podcast possible. We thank you, and most of all, we thank you, our listeners, who continue to throng to the show. And of course, you can also watch us on YouTube at Inglorious Treksperts podcast. So subscribe and rate us today. And that's really about it for us. So on behalf of Ashley Edward Miller, Darren R. Doctorman, and Mark A. Altman, keep on trekking ingloriously, of course.